So this was the B team headquarters, B-23, that controlled all the A teams that were west of here along the Cambodian-Vietnamese border. We would interact with them from our camp, which was out at East Field, which is to my left, a considerable distance, but not too awfully far. But we'd interact with them because they had supplies, they had advanced medical equipment and personnel that we didn't have. And they had the little PX and the liquor store where we could buy cigarettes and booze. And so that was very important to be able to resupply ourselves with those kinds of things. And they did some administrative stuff for us, but not very much, because B-23 was not a part of MACV-SOG. But since we were all SF, Special Forces, we tended to work together anyway. I've always been a fan of history, and Teddy Roosevelt came here, I'm not sure when, I would say probably in the 20s or 30s perhaps, to hunt tigers, because there are tigers, or there were tigers in the forest here. And so he came here to hunt tigers. And I'd heard that, I read about it, and I'd heard people talk about it. And at that time, this building was a lodge, if you will, where visiting dignitaries would stay. And of course, Teddy Roosevelt being Teddy Roosevelt, this is where he stayed. And then he went out from here into the jungles to hunt tigers. When I was here, from time to time, we would go out in the local area around Buon Ma Thuot just for a 2 or 3 day training mission, just to kind of pump ourselves up and keep our skills in certain areas. And to support our own camp defense, because we had to defend ourselves. And so one night I got sent out on an OP-LP ambush, and we went out and we set up on a trail, and nothing happened. It was quiet. And then all of a sudden the next morning we started rolling up and getting ready to walk back into camp, because we were probably 4 or 5 kilometers out of camp. We got up and my interpreter came back, and I was talking to him. I got everybody. He said, yeah. He said, we see tigre. And I said, what? And he said, tigre. And we're talking very quietly, because we're a small group, and when you're in the woods with a small group, you don't talk loud. I was getting a little frustrated with him. And I said, tigre. I said, look, Took. His name was, he took me. I said, Took. I said, we pay you 7,000 piastres extra a month to speak English. What are you saying? He said, tigre. Arr. Oh, you mean tiger? Well, yeah, that's what, in essence, yeah, that's what I'm saying, you stupid American. Tigre. Okay. So we quietly moved down to the end of the site, because I'd been up at the head of the ambush, the position we had. I went down to the end of the site, and I could look along this large trail, or road if you want to call it that, and there was on the far side there was a meadow, and I remember the grass was probably 2 feet high, something like that, and there was dew. You could see the droplets of dew on the grass, and sitting in the middle of that with a shaft of light on it was a mother tiger and her cub, just in their natural habitat. And it struck me, having remembered about Teddy Roosevelt and hunting tigers, and I thought, the last thing in the world that I want to do is kill that tiger. I just want to look at her and enjoy it. And it was one of the most beautiful sights I remember seeing when I was in Vietnam.